Hey everyone, in today's video I'm going to be discussing the pros and cons of owning rabbits. So before getting a pet, it is extremely important to make a list of the pros and the cons so you can determine if it is the right pet for you and if it suits your lifestyle. So first, let's start with the cons of owning rabbits. The first con is that they require exotic vets. Rabbits are actually classified as exotic pets, which means that you cannot just go and take them to a regular dog and cat vet because they are not very knowledgeable when it comes to rabbits or other exotic animals. Instead, you have to make sure that you have an exotic vet in your area. I know a lot of people who don't actually have any in the area, so if you're one of them, then rabbits are probably not the pet for you because they will definitely require vet care in their lives. So that would just be irresponsible to get a rabbit if you don't have any exotic vets in your area. So this leads me on to my next point, which is rabbit vet care can be very expensive. Rabbits will need to see vets regularly throughout their lives, which can definitely add up, starting with their spaying and neutering, which is generally done at a young age and costs a few hundreds of dollars. They will also require regular health checks and vaccinations. They also are prone to a few health issues, for example GI stasis, which is very common in rabbits, which I have myself experienced with one of my bunnies, Oakley. The next con is that they are prey animals. Because rabbits are at the bottom of the food chain, they are constantly looking out for dangers and are very stressed animals. So this makes things such as loud noises and grooming and taking them to the vets being extremely stressful situations for them. So it can also put a lot of stress on the owners as well. So because rabbits are so easily stressed, generally your rabbit will not tolerate being picked up, which is an important thing to consider if you are looking for a pet that you want to constantly be picking up and holding and cuddling. Most of the time your rabbit will not actually allow you to do that. So the next one can actually be surprising for people who are not very familiar on proper rabbit care, and that is that they actually require a lot of space and more than you would think. So you can't just shove them in a cage or hutch and forget about them like they sell in pet stores, and unfortunately that is a very sad reality for a lot of pet rabbits around the world. Instead, rabbits should be free-roamed like you would a dog or a cat. They really need all that space to run around and exercise. X-pens are also an alternative to cages, which is completely fine. Just make sure if you are getting an X-pen, it is at least 2 by 3 by 1 meters, and they are also provided with additional free roam time throughout the day. The next con is that rabbits can be very destructive. So as you may or may not know, rabbits' teeth never stop growing, so they are constantly looking for materials to chew to wear down their teeth so they do not get overgrown, and sometimes this can be your furniture. So to avoid this, it is so important that you properly bunny-proof your house. So this means doing things such as putting cord protectors on any exposed cables, protecting your wooden furniture, and making sure any houseplants that you may have are out of reach. The next con is that rabbits are not low maintenance pets. I see rabbits being marketed as starter pets or easy pets and things like that, which is completely not true. Rabbits are very misunderstood animals, so it's very important that you do your research beforehand so you know how to properly care for them. They can also be very messy at times and will definitely require daily cleaning. And finally, it takes time for you to form a bond with your bunny. So once again, because bunnies are prey animals and are very stressed, it takes time for them to trust you, and you'll have to build on their trust every day, and it can usually take a few months for them to properly bond with you. This means that they will require a lot of patience and time for them to fully trust you and form a bond. Following on to this point, you have to remember that all bunnies have different personalities, and just because you saw someone else who has a bunny that's very affectionate and loves them, it doesn't mean it will be the same in your situation. It's common to get a bunny that doesn't really enjoy human interaction and doesn't like being pet, for example, and that's okay. That's what makes all bunnies different, and that's their personality, so you can't make them do something that they don't want to do. So I think that's an important thing to consider if you are looking for a very affectionate and cuddly pet. Now let's move on to the pros of owning rabbits. So first of all, rabbits are litter trained. This is probably the best part about owning rabbits. It just makes cleaning so much easier. They use the toilet in one place, and all you have to do is change their litter box every other day. The next pro is that they are crepuscular. So if you've never heard this word before, it basically means that they are most active in the morning and the afternoon. So they spend pretty much the middle of the day sleeping, so it's perfect if you go to school or work. It means that you are not missing out on time with them because they're sleeping while you're there anyways. The next pro is that they are extremely social animals. So I love this about rabbits because it allows you to form an amazing bond with them, and it is also the reason why it is so important to get at least 2 or more bunnies, which makes it even more rewarding because seeing the bond between bunnies is just so amazing, and it's just the cutest and most rewarding thing ever. The next pro is that they are quiet animals. So this can be a big thing for some people who don't like noisy pets like dogs or birds, for example. Rabbits are pretty much silent apart from them chewing on their toys or digging in their litter box, let's say. But besides that, they are pretty much silent animals. The next pro is that rabbits don't smell. So rabbits themselves are very clean animals and they clean themselves regularly. And if you're keeping up with changing their litter box on a regular basis, then they do not smell at all, which is something that I really love about owning rabbits. The next pro is a big one, and that is just how cute they are. That is probably the reason why most people get bunnies, because of their cuteness. And how can you resist their cute little faces and their twitching noses? Next, rabbits have a fairly simple diet because they are herbivores. Their diet mainly consists of hay, which makes up 80% of their diet, which is pretty easy to buy. And finally, the last pro is what great pets they make. They're just extremely fun to own. You can do things such as teach them tricks, pet them, and even watching them is so much fun. So it's never-ending fun with pet rabbits. So that's basically it for today's video. I hope you enjoyed it, and remember that these are my opinions and this is only a small list of all the pros and cons that come along with owning rabbits. So definitely do some more research on some more pros and cons, and I will see you in my next video. Bye!